Honored to be joined on the Sunrise Morning Show by Ambassador Sam Brownback. He's former ambassador at large for religious freedom here in the United States, and he's co-chair of the steering committee for the upcoming International Religious Freedom Summit. Ambassador Brownback, welcome to the Sunrise Morning Show.
Hey, thank you. It's a pleasure to join you, and thank you for mentioning about our upcoming summit.
Most definitely. That's what we're here to talk about today. The summit's going to be taking place from July 13th to the 15th, and In Defense of Christians, who arranged to have you on the show today for us, is one of the sponsors. Listeners, you can find more information at irfsummit.com. That's irfsummit.com. Ambassador Brownback, what is the overarching goal of this summit?
It's really to synergize the religious freedom movement globally. We've been losing ground on religious freedom globally, and we're losing ground, unfortunately, in the United States as well. And we want to get people together, have them build authentic relationships across various religious beliefs to stand up for each other's religious freedom. And we'll have people from all of the major religions in the world there standing together for this concept of religious freedom for everybody, everywhere, all the time.
What would you say, what are the levels, if you will, that go into the fundamental human right of religious freedom?
Well, the problem we've been having is we've been just having a whole lot of government intrusion in this space, nationalistic use of religion, this government saying you can be the majority religion but not the minority religion. We've got persecution all the way from people being killed to much more subtle societal and communal violence, exclusion of religious minorities, not allowing them having access to government services if they're of a religious minority. The sort of persecutions take many different shapes. The problem of it is about 80% of the world's population lives in a place where there's significant religious persecution.
That's terrifying, Ambassador Brownback. How do you hope that this summit can address that?
If we can get the religions to stand up for each other's fundamental religious freedom, I think we can win this fight. If we get Muslims standing up for Christians and their right to practice their faith as they see fit, even though they don't agree with them on their faith, if we get Christians to stand up for Muslims and Hindus for their religious freedom, that makes a profound statement to governments and communities about, no, this is a fundamental human right. It isn't about a common theology. It's about a common human right. And so that's what we're really shooting for, and hopefully starting to make some headway on this.
So do you have Muslim organizations, for instance, or Hindu organizations that will be a part of this summit coming up?
We do. We have a number of Muslim, Jewish, Hindu, Buddhist, of course, Christian organizations that are part of it. There are about 70 groups that are co-sponsoring the event. It's bipartisan. It's Republican and Democrat. And really what we're shooting for is this building of authentic relationships, caring, loving relationships across the religions, but with an objective of standing up. We want to stand up for each other's religious freedom. We want to build an authentic relationship, but I think a product out of that will be really standing up for each other's human rights, and you'll see then this right flourish.
So who will be some of the speakers at this summit, and what will be the topics that you cover?
Cardinal Dolan is one of the keynote speakers at the final day of the summit. We'll also have the Dalai Lama by video. We'll have members of Congress, the U.S. House and Senate will be there in person. We have a number of people that have been persecuted for their faith that will be there and speaking. Andrew Brunson, that was held in a Turkish prison for 2 years. Asia Bibi, that was held in a Pakistani prison for blasphemy charges for 9 years. And many, many others. We've got a lengthy program, then a whole like 36 concurrent sessions we'll have the main stage, and then we'll have these concurrent sessions where each individual group, like in Defense of Christians, will put on a program that they have. We'll have the number 2 person from the Russian Orthodox Church will be there and speaking as well.
And I understand that there's also a track contained in the summit for young leaders. What is the importance of building up young leaders in this movement to have greater religious freedom around the world?
But my experience with movements is you need young legs underneath it. You need young people with passion and drive. And I'm delighted. I think we're going to have over 100 young people in this young leader track that'll be, learning, making connections with people, again, building these relationships so that they can really carry forth the passion that they have in their heart for religious freedom for themselves and for others.
And you mentioned several times here that you want people to be meeting each other. And this is, there is a virtual component to this summit, but this is a summit that will be meeting in person. What do you see as the importance of organizations that are devoted to promoting religious freedom? And so many of them have their own particular, bent or flavor to them or their particular cause under the greater umbrella of promoting religious freedom. What is the importance of all of them banding together and being able to pool their resources?
I think you make it into, instead of an individual movement, you make it into a global movement. Then I think people take much more notice. If you're standing up for your own, and I think that is noteworthy and laudable. Groups like In Defense of Christians are fantastic, and Christian persecution's at the highest level in world history right now. But if they can also then have other religious groups standing up for them, I think it just really exponentially increases the effectiveness of the movement, and people starting to notice, this is taking place. There's too much persecution of people of religions. Almost all of the recent genocides in the world, not all, but near them, have been of religious minorities. Yeah. And you got one going on now of Muslims in Western China.
Yeah, Uyghurs.
We need to stand up for each other, and I think by doing that, the broader public then sees, this is an authentic movement that we need to really pay attention to, and to grant people their freedom.
Well, Ambassador Brownback, we're talking to Ambassador Sam Brownback about the upcoming International Religious Freedom Summit. It's taking place from July 13th to the 15th, and it's IRFSummit.com to learn more. And I know, Ambassador Brownback, that you're focused right now on planning for the summit and looking forward to it. But is there a thought as to what would be the next step after the summit takes place and everyone gets together?
Yes, we'll have monthly Zoom meetings after the summit, and then we'll do it again next year. We want this to be an annual event, and so that this force of people can be gathering together and focusing on various projects around the world. Maybe it's pushing back against China's war on faith, or maybe it's engagement in Nigeria and in the persecutions that are taking place there or in Burma. But we'll have monthly then gatherings virtually. But I've emphasized it several times, this building of meaningful relationships. God calls us to love Him and love one another. If we just do that, we're seeking the kingdom of God. These other good things will flow out of it. Mm-hmm. But we anticipate that moving out of it, there'll be an action plan. There's a charter for the summit, and then that we'll do this on an annual basis. But each month we'll be meeting virtually to try to continue to move forward the specific topics, like the removal of the death penalty for blasphemy and apostasy laws is one of the topics and policy moves that we want to see coming out of the summit.
It's huge. Well, be assured of our prayers, and we will be following along with you. We've been talking to Ambassador Sam Brownback. Again, IRFSummit.com is where you can get more information about the International Religious Freedom Summit. Ambassador Brownback, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you. And if your listeners want to attend, they can register online and attend in person. And I hope they'll keep us in their prayers. God bless you all. Thank you very much.
You too. Thank you so much.